School of Osprey is over in Fresno? Not Fresno. Nope. It was near Vail.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah, we have a lot of them in San Diego too.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I believe that's where, places like that is where they're going for the wintertime.
Right.
And then they come back here to lay them.
Right.
So I am taking a walk with my new inspirational, most favorite person right now, Vanessa. And this is Bryce. And she is on day 3.
Walking to Mexico.
Tell us.
Following the Colorado River from source to sea, man. 5 to 8 months.
Look how happy she is.
So it's been 7 years, and it's just been a dream for 7 years. And it's like the fact that I'm actually physically taking the steps to Mexico instead of just the planning.
Have you been to Mexico? Oh my gosh! All right. So,
I wanted to, but I was like, I'm gonna save it.
Well, the last experience I had with our beautiful brother nation south of the border is, I think it was the first New Year's of COVID. I went down to the southernmost point in the United States in Imperial Beach, down where a bunch of my training was, and just did a little ceremony about what we talked about earlier, and that is community. And stop looking at our differences and start looking at what we have in similar and the things that we can create or change together. So now this is what's really surprising, is that I had no idea. We have a serious water crisis on our hand, and that's why Vanessa is doing this, is to create awareness. So tell me about that.
The river stops 60 miles shy of the sea. We are starving a country. The Delta is dry. The Delta is dry and lifeless. And if we don't change our ways, hundreds of thousands of people will be without power. And if California can't get water, then it'll disrupt the entire food distribution chain.
Now,
and we aren't putting enough pressure on elected officials to create a substantial change, to actually fix the problem. Right now we're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
oh my God, brilliant. Oh.
Yeah. They're saying maybe this will work, maybe this will work. It needs to work. It
Yeah.
has to.
Yeah. Yeah.
People will die if it doesn't.
No, and I completely agree. This is again, I'll say it for the 3rd time today. Right? Car pause, is that we're either part of the solution or part of the problem. Apathy is simply agreeing with what is existing,
right,
that it's okay.
Doing nothing is doing something.
Exactly. It's a choice. It's a choice, and we can ignore it or we can become educated and have some accountability. And I think one of the things that I think is so amazing about what you're doing is that in the past, we still had some integrity because we were still, working on truth. And you good? You good? I'm running her off the road. Man down.
Well, that's it. I'm going home.
Right. Okay, so let's not get sidetracked on that then. Talk to me about your schedule. Talk to me about what's going on and how people can follow you, how people can support you. Right? I'm not even sure if I have you on camera because I'm not paying attention.
So I have social medias. I've got a TikTok that's Nomad Diaries with no spaces. An Instagram that's like _nomad_diaries_. And then I'm also on YouTube. But I don't have much on there yet. But I'm making a documentary of this whole thing. So.
I can't even tell you how much joy and hope and emotions and just inspiration that you are. No, it means a lot to me that you are so open and so vulnerable and willing to sacrifice 7 years, 8 years of your life for a cause.
I think that all I want to do is be one of the voices shouting for that change. And if I can educate people on the fact that there is a huge crisis happening that's putting a lot of people at risk, that's spreading because climate change isn't reversing. It's not slowing down. We're going to see droughts countrywide.
Yes.
We've got them in Louisiana.
Yes.
Louisiana is in a drought. So we're going to see this happen again and again. And if we have enough people shouting for a change will happen because thoughts are things.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Where energy goes, where focus goes, energy flows.
We figured it out.
I know. Teamwork makes the dream work. Oh my gosh. This is not what I expected to be doing on a Monday, but it's exactly what I needed, is to be rejuvenated in spirit, body, and mind, to have real communication, to talk about what we feel could be fixed in this world, but not be so egotistical that we know exactly the way to do it.
Right.
It's it's a lot like what I feel my activism is going to be in, and that is, this mental health issue between, are you psychic or psychotic?
Right.
I've quoted many times, I'm Eastern crazy, not Western crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm judged by a Western world. And that only matters if I let it. And then if I wait for somebody else, our leadership or the industries that we have given power to, that we now know have zero integrity, zero compassion, and zero concern for the bigger picture, that it has to come from us.
It does. And it's the intention that counts. Because I don't know how to fix the crisis.
No
idea.
No.
I'm not a politician, I'm not a scientist, but I know that something has to be done, and the more people that are educated, the closer we are to finding that solution.
Exactly. It's about education and not just throwing a blind eye to situations that are extreme.
Right.
We look at the health of our planet, and I'm gonna tell you, it's the same as the health of our societies right now. And so right here in Colorado, I was gonna tell you earlier, but there's a big difference between looking physically fit and being physically fit on an energetic level.
Right.
The difference I see between you and somebody that goes to the gym every day, that spends hours on their looks, their makeup, and this kind of stuff, they are full of unworthiness, that they're not good enough how they are.
Right.
And that they need to go out of their way to become something because of what society has dictated is what we want to be.
They're cracking under the pressure of social norms.
Yeah. And we've stopped letting people have choices, but yet another thing is we've given too many choices that people can't even decide.
Right.
I mean, I could go off on like 12 different tangents right now. The confusion of letting children have choices about sexuality before they ever understand what the word sexuality means, before they know what intimacy means, before they've ever fallen in love.
Right. Let them be let them without
questions. Yes. Everybody's perfect exactly how they are. And if you truly need to do something to be in alignment with what your calling is, great.
Make sure it's for you.
But what we've done with this political correctiveness, we have an entire generation that has no sexual identity except for what of 12 labels do you want to be today?
Right.
And I'm all open to choice, but I'm also about a label is a descriptor. We all have narcissistic tendencies. We all can be bipolar. We all can be schizophrenic. We all are on the edge of a freaking nervous breakdown.
Balance yourself.
It is. It is.
Some are worse than others, where you do have people who are schizophrenic and need medication.
Oh gosh, absolutely, absolutely.
Depressed and need medication. You know, but when we're talking about just the general human population, you can find your balance.
And there's one thing I know, is that you can heal anything emotionally, mentally, or physically with the right intention, the right alignment, and the right steps that are not based on science, but are based on society. You know, it's just...
Okay, come on, stay away from the sun.
So, let's talk about your schedule.
I'm gonna do I'm thinking I'm gonna do 10 miles a day.
Yeah.
If I do 10 miles a day, every single day with no break,
Right.
I'll get there in 5 months.
Wow.
It's about 160 days.
Wow.
And
And you're the first person to ever do this.
first person to ever do this. Yep. And he's the first dog to ever.
Oh my gosh!
So we get a couple of trophies for this one.
Right. And I am the first Vanessa Gump follower. Oh my God. Well, I love walking with people and I love talking with people, so I was honored
2 birds, man.
that you let me come along and be part of your vision and your dream. And here's the thing, guys. She's not asking for money. She's asking for support on a global level to start to at least admit that we're a teenage country with teenage ideals,
And we have to do better.
and it's time to grow up, learn accountability, deal with our consequences, and do the right thing.
Right. Because we can learn and we can adapt just like we always have.
Exactly.
Our self-growth is no different than the growth of us as a species.
Oh, amen. 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 Ashe, aho, namaste. It is so. Blessed be and mahalo. So I'm not even...
See, there's it. Is this Mexico?
Right?
Can I go home now?
Where's my margarita?
I just want to see the beach.
Right? So one thing that Vanessa shared, just because it's going to be a while before I get to do this again, but when she does the last stretch to the Sea of Cortez in Mexico from Yuma, she would be thrilled to have you come walk and support her by just getting out and making a statement, by following. I just gotta say, you're Forrest Gump, man.
Showing up, you know.
Exactly.
Having a margarita at the border.
Exactly.
You know?
Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
To just be there and stand and show the world that, dude, this is amazing. I agree with you. Let's start having the conversations on where we go from here.
Right. We have to fix things. We have to turn it around.
Right?
We can't keep going the way that we are.
I know. And I'm feeling my cutoff point's going to be coming up here at the sign. So I want to know, where are you going to be tonight?
Probably sulfur.
Oh.
I'm gonna try to make it that far. If not, I'll find a place on the side of the road.
Okay. Yeah. So have you been to the hot sulfur springs?
No. Are
Oh.
they worth it?
It's $20 a day, and it's you can go all day. And they have different. The top is the hottest,
Okay,
and then they trickle down to just basically a swimming pool at the bottom.
Is there
And
a
they've got
campground?
no, but I think there's some boondocking right there.
Okay.
I think if you go left, I think it's forestry land and boondocking.
Yeah.
Right
You're
past the
better
hot
off
springs.
Somebody who's got a house down there.
Yeah.
Stay in their yard.
I was gonna say I'm gonna totally throw the manifestation out there that you're gonna be supported along your way,
Yeah.
and you go through the journey when you need to solo,
Yeah.
and when it's time for support, just freaking ask, and it's there.
Help be the first help.
And I'm gonna end with a story from an inspiration from a pilgrimage, or from a pilgrimer that I personally know and has really influenced my life. His name is Swami Shankarananda. And when you see him, he's all in orange, and he's revered as just pure light and love, and that's what he gives unconditionally. But his journey didn't start like that. His backstory was, CEO, billionaire, cars, drugs, women, everything that you could ever imagine. I don't know his story, but I do know where it ended up.
Right.
And it ended up with him following peace pilgrimages journey across the United States. And I believe he walked for 2 years with just his clothes on. He started off with a small backpack, and after a while, he just came to trust. Now, you dropped your phone, so make sure you didn't. Yeah. And he tells a story about water bottles, going through the desert in the heat of the day, going, I'm going to die out here. I don't have anything. I have one bottle of water, and I have no idea. He took the same road, so he was what peace pilgrimage did is, she said that until there's peace in this world, she was going to walk. She walked for, I think, 20 years. She was in her 60s, and all she carried was like a comb, a toothbrush. She carried nothing. She wore this thing that said peace pilgrim. She walked and walked and walked. She has a book. She inspired so many people. And the craziest thing is, she died because she was in a car going to give a speech. But she walked back and forth across America. So his pilgrimage, he was so inspired by her. And her, like you, this was not a whim. She planned to do this, and she committed her life to it. She was a Quaker. And she went out, and I think it was the 60s or 70s, and just made her statement in the most passive way. And her rule was that, and he did the same thing. If somebody picked him up and gave him a place to sleep, he asked them, as long as they brought him back to where he started, that would be okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't ask for anything, but he would accept any food or water that was given.
Yeah.
And he's walking through the desert, he's having, for the love of God, and he just stops and has a moment and says, I trust you will take care of me. And he said from that moment on, he never went more than 2 hours without somebody stopping and giving him water.
That's wonderful. It's being open. It's allowing the universe to do what it wants with you, and not resisting.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge journey of ours.
Yeah.
It's been a huge stressor as well.
Right.
Because I know that I'm going to come out a different person, so I've had to prepare for the morning of the death of the person now, and allow myself to become whatever I am going to be on the day. I've been planning for a third person. So
it's not a third person. It's the trilogy of you. It's the trilogy of you that brings it into balance, because we can't deny our past.
Right.
That's where our knowledge comes from. We only learn by making mistakes. Exactly. We don't know that we've made a mistake unless we're going to do something different.
Right.
So we could sit here and philosophize about everything,
Right.
but I'm going to let you get on your journey. I'm going to say so long for now, but never goodbye. And I can't wait to walk with you again sooner than later. So, oh my God. All right. This is